If you look at all these people, they were not leaders. They had platforms. Okay. When you take your platform and without carrying your micro platformers who support you, and then the next day you're shaking hands with Raila, those other people will move away because you are not a leader yet.
Raila Odinga, was this the best opportunity for him to join government? Was he the biggest beneficiary of this maandamano?
Never waste a good crisis. Crisis presents great political opportunity. It was an opportunity for Raila. It was Genz who were protesting, but he got 5 cabinet positions. And because of the amount of clout he can bring to whichever cause you have, you'll start praising him again.
What were the missteps of this whole revolution that people got it wrong?
The question that the Gen Z need to start asking themselves is, what form of self-organization is going to achieve their political, social, and economic goals? But for as long as their fire is burning, politicians will see opportunity. That's how it works.
In the aftermath of the controversial 2024 finance bill, Kenya witnessed some of the largest anti-government protests in recent history. The streets were alive with the voices of the youthful protesters, majorly from the Gen Z demographic age group, led by a fresh wave of new activists who vowed to stand firm against what they called economic sabotage and messing up with their future. But months later, the tides have turned. Many of these fierce critics have traded placards for power, joining the government they once fiercely opposed. Many have asked what led to the dramatic shift of these personalities who were once seen to be the revolutionists. From Kasmal Makauri to Osama Otero and even Raila Odinga. Were their convictions compromised, or was this simply the price of political survival? Today, we have a sit-down with communication and political expert Mark Bichachi and delve into the betrayal of the revolution, a story of broken promises, shifting loyalties, and the cost of silence, as it takes us through the technicalities of Kenyan political and governance system since the occurrence of the Gen Z anti-government protests.
If you look at all these people, they were not leaders. They had platforms. Okay. There's a difference. Okay. See, a platform, you need to look at it in terms of social media. Kim Kardashian, hundreds of millions of followers now. Right? Is she a leader?
No.
She has a platform. That platform, you can use it sometimes to push a political agenda. Sometimes. You can use it sometimes to support even a politician. Some, precious few, have even been able to use that platform to get into politics. Okay. But most of the time, it is a platform. And the reason why they're unable to deliver the political dream is because that platform is a place to echo the ideas and thoughts of the micro platforms. So you've got a macro platform, but the micro platforms only agree with you when you agree with them. Okay. When you take your platform and without carrying your micro platformers who support you, and then the next day you're shaking hands with Raila, you're shaking hands with Uhuru, you're shaking hands with whoever, those other people will move away because you are not a leader yet.
The first to be branded as a traitor was Kelvin Monari, commonly referred to as Osama Otero, a popular personality on the X platform in Kenya who had earlier been known to be a fierce critic of the government and a die-hard advocate of the anti-finance bill campaign, who was alleged to have been abducted at the height of the protests. But Kenyans were left in utter shock on Friday, July 5th, 2024, when Osama Otero hosted President William Ruto on his space.
I was blindfolded. Some guys were blindfolded for like 12 hours.
Thank you very much, my friend. I regret your situation.
Intended to engage with the public after they had sworn to boycott the president's planned space to address them.
The question that the Gen Z need to start asking themselves is what form of self-organization is going to achieve their political, social, and economic goals. What is that machine? It does not have to be something that was borrowed from the past, because they're clearly doing their own thing. And that's not bad either, because you need societies to evolve. But for as long as their fire is burning, politicians will see opportunity. That's how it works. And even among the Gen Zs, the ones that raise up to a platform, they will desire to use that platform to gain power. What these politicians do not know, all of them, is how do they get Gen Z to support them? That's the question they're racking their brains up.
Once the face of activism and the revolution in Kenya, Kasmuel Makauri was a man whose presence commanded attention. Draped in vintage bespoke suits that paid homage to historical figures like Martin Luther King Jr. and Tom Mboya, he embodied the charisma of a true changemaker. His eloquence and stance against injustice made him a regular feature on media interviews and debates. However, in a dramatic twist, the young activist who once symbolized resilience now finds himself at the center of a storm after he started dining with the leaders he once criticized and joining the ODM party and declaring political ambitions. Eventually, he would be seen in state functions and forums exchanging handshakes with the same leaders he was protesting against. Accusations of betraying the revolution he so passionately championed have led to a significant fallout. Once adored by his followers, Makauri is now facing widespread opposition, particularly on social media. His X account, which once thrived as a hub of ideas and calls to action, has seen a staggering loss of nearly 30,000 followers in recent times.
Traditionally, and how politics has been run for a long time, it has always been, and you've seen even wartime, that if the government wants to make peace, they call Samora Machel. And he represents a whole vast rebellious population. You get? Kibaki called Raila, and he represented to him a whole vast population of anti-Kibaki people. So Raila's handshake with Kibaki was enough. But remember, these people, A, are not politically organized, and B, their decision-making and their ability to move is crowdsourced and it's democratic. So when something is crowdsourced, you need to think in a very different political way, which is what we're not doing. We are not thinking of influencing them in the way they know. And the more the idea is to create leaders among them and then to use this, that's not how it's going to work. So in 2024, when they're going to the streets, remember, they do not belong to any political entity. They don't belong to Azimio. They don't belong to UDA, Kenya Kwanza. They are people who did not vote, did not show up to vote, and have experienced that government can actually affect my life. Then guess what? Government affected their life. Whether it's because we had a big debt to pay, whether it's because for whatever reason government had to do what it had to do, government affected these people and they are not affiliated to politics. You ask them, what did Martha Karua do? They're like, we don't know. Why is Raila respected as a hero? They don't know. They have no idea. Who is the father of Uhuru Kenyatta? They don't know. Then, these same people have an incredible power. Genz can plan for a party on Wednesday, and on Saturday, 1,000 of them show up. Our generation can't do that. But they, through the power of Twitter, TikTok, and whatever, run democratic decisions. They inform each other, decide as a group, and then they say, you know what? Kasmuel is cancelled. And you see his numbers drop. So this group of people did not need a centralizing figure to all agree. They need a centralizing idea. And once the idea has been agreed on, because phones make it democratic, literally they think as one mass process. So it doesn't matter, pick Kasmuel, pick Morara Kebaso, put them in office. It does not satiate them because it is the idea they are fighting. They're not following a leader.
Okay. Few figures embody the spirit of opposition like former Prime Minister Raila Odinga. For decades, he was the face of resistance in Kenya, challenging the establishment at every turn. Yet, a surprising twist unfolded when he joined President William Ruto to form the broad-based government. Raila's decision to work with the government shocked many. Allies secured key cabinet slots, and he secured his candidature for the African Union Commission chairperson, raising questions about whether this move served the people or personal interests.
Never waste a good crisis. Crisis presents great political opportunity. Great political opportunity. It was an opportunity for Raila. It was Genz who were protesting, but he got 5 cabinet positions. It's not the first time. 1998-99, didn't he join KANU? Wasn't he called a traitor? Wasn't he called all manner of names? Didn't he stay in government until the last minute and came back and said, Kibaki Tosh? And then suddenly he was a hero. Raila is not so soft-shelled that he does not know how to eat now and still eat in the next regime. Call him a traitor all you want. His best case scenario, he goes to Addis. He doesn't go, he comes back. Just needs one speech turning his heels on someone. Then suddenly he's back to being a hero. This anti-hero thing people keep throwing to Raila, it does not stick because there's a maxim. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. The friend of my enemy is my enemy. And as soon as he changes friends, and because of the amount of clout he can bring to whichever cause you have, you will start praising him again.
Okay.
The question Kenyans need to ask themselves is a very germane question of, yes, we want better. Now can we start crafting how we get better?
They once stood as the voices of a revolution and champions of justice, but their allegiance seems to have shifted as they have joined the same system they fought hard against, and now it's being termed to be a betrayal. We'd love to hear your feedback on this conversation as we appreciate your continued support as we head to 1.5 million subscribers. Reporting for LNN, my name is Edwin John Mukora.